There we go. Nice. Well, here we are. It's been a minute. But yeah, the title is not incorrect. We are going to be working on doing Pokemon Retro Achievements. So for anyone who doesn't know, there is a website. In fact, I will throw the website into the chat. It's called retroachievements.org. And they have a wide list of achievements to collect. Be it Pokemon Red, be it Pokemon Blue, some older games, not just Pokemon games. So I decided that I was going to, on stream, because I've been doing on my own on my off time, playing I've been playing Pokemon Blue on my off time, but for me personally, I have only ever played Pokemon Red a handful of times. I usually play Pokemon Blue. So I thought, why not? On stream, we were going to complete Pokemon Red. Now, I am going to be recording what happens here so I can make a YouTube video out of it. But this is where we are starting. And I'm actually kind of excited. So I'm just going to start recording. And we're going to get going. Alright, first things first. Text speed on, battle animations off, battle styles set. Okay. Let's jump into it. Hello there, welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Oak. People call me the Pokemon Professor. This world is inhabited by creatures called Pokemon. For some people, Pokemon are pets. Others use them for fights. Myself, I study Pokemon as a profession. First, what is your name? We're going to name ourselves, and we're doing it all in uppercase, because Gen 1 has a weird thing where every name, everything is like uppercase. And it's just, yeah, it's weird. Alright, this is my grandson. He has been your rival since you were a baby. What's his name again? Canonically, his name is Blue. Another name for him is Gary from the Pokemon anime. Don't know what the John is. So, we're just going to name him Blue. Nothing crazy, nothing spectacular. That's right, I remember now. His name is Blue. Kain, your very own Pokemon legend is about to unfold. A world of dreams and adventures with Pokemon awaits. Let's go. Alright. So first things first, now that we're in, we have a couple of things that we need to do. So, we need to go get our Pokemon first. So there are a couple of achievements that we can get here early in the game, and I need to be on top of collecting them. So there's one missable where once you've gotten your Pokedex, if you go to the item store and buy them, you're locked out of this achievement. But essentially it was, and this is something I didn't know, but if you actually go and battle Blue, beat him, and you haven't caught anything, he will give you 5 Pokeballs. So there's an achievement for that. Unfortunately, we don't have any chatters in at the moment. Yeah, my participants list is empty. So we are just going to pick what I believe is the best Pokemon for this. It's not Charizard. It's not Squirtle. It's Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur is the best Pokemon out of this little group. All right, we got Bulbasaur. We're not going to give it a nickname. 1 out of 24. All right. Now we have to battle Blue. Okay. Ooh. Hit me with a scratch crit right off the bat. So there's a good chance we're losing this one. Yep. Another crit. That's okay. Alright. Make my Pokemon fight to toughen up. Kain, Gramps, smell you later. See, I always thought Blue was kind of annoying. But now that I'm, like, older, I actually kind of appreciate him as a rival. It's weird. Alright. Alright. Pidgey. We need to get as much experience as we can without breaking level cap. So, ow. There is a level cap achievement where I can't let a single Pokemon go above a certain level before I battle Brock. So, right now, we're kind of a little bit in, like, limbo, where we need to hit a certain level to be able to deal with both of Gary's Pokemon, and not be too over-leveled that we can't get through the forest without hitting another level. So, I'm thinking my level should be pretty simple. Ow. Okay, we're going to grab this and get, hey, free points. Get a free sample courtesy of the Viridian City shop clerk. Yeah, I just probably realized, that's probably where my achievements are going to pop up. So I need to come up here. There's not a lot going on up there. And we're just going to use that right away. Okay. Hey, you came from Pallet Town. You know Professor Oak, right? His order came in, I'll let you take it to him. Kain got Oak's parcel. Sweet! Now we can just take this parcel, and we're gonna make our way back. So, for those who don't know me very well, which is probably a good chunk of people, I have recently gotten into achievement hunting. I've been achievement hunting a lot of my favorite games on my PlayStation 5, a lot of games on my, through retro achievements, stuff like that. Alrighty. This is a custom Pokeball I ordered. Thank you. We never do find out what that thing is. What did you call me for? Oh, right, I have a request for you two. On the desk there is my invention, the Pokédex. It automatically records data on Pokemon you've seen or caught. It's a high-tech encyclopedia. Kain and Blue, take these with you. Kain got a Pokedex. Woo! That's the first step. That was my dream, but I'm too old. I can't do it, so I want you two to fulfill my dream for me. Get moving, you two. This is a great undertaking in Pokemon history. Alright, Gramps, leave it to me. Kain, I hate to say it, but I don't need you. I know, I'll borrow a town map from my sister. I'll tell her not to lend you one. Ha 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 ha. Journey started. Obtain the Pokedex. First things first, we're gonna come around. Gramps asked you to run an errand here. This will help you. Kain got a town map. The United Cities of Kanto. Obtained a map of the Kanto region. Hell yeah. Alright. Now comes the fun part. We have to grind until, I want to say, I think the sweet spot would be either 10 or 11. Ten's is a nice little sweet spot right there. That's level 6. Okay. My favorite Pokemon game is Pokemon Crystal. Not Crystal, Silver. Silver is my favorite. I grew up playing Blue and Silver my entire life. If I'm being honest, Red and Blue are not my favorite. In fact, I am not a fan of Gen 1. Yeah, and I call myself a Pokemon fan, right? But Gen 1's not my favorite. My issue with Gen 1 is that a lot of it is held together by spit and a wish, if you know what that term means. A lot of it is held together by just duct tape and super glue. And that super glue is falling apart. This game does not want to function properly sometimes, and it sucks. I love this game, don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of Pokemon Blue. I'm a fan of the Pokemon franchise just in general. I've been playing since I was 8 years old. You know, with my old Game Boy Advanced. That's what I grew up on. But now that I'm older, you know, I've played so many Pokemon games. And I have favorites. I won't lie. I have favorites. I have ones that are just, in my opinion, better. I have ones that I believe could use a little bit of work. And I have some that I think are absolute bad. I do. I have ones that I do not like personally. And that's going to get me lambasted in the Pokemon community. And I know it. But for me, at least, this franchise, good, bad, or indifferent, has always had childhood nostalgia for me. And I'm always going to play them, no matter what. I hate to say it this way, but I'm hooked, hook, line, and sinker. I am never not going to play a Pokemon game. And that pains me to say because a lot of Pokemon games nowadays are just lazy. I know Legends ZA just came out. I haven't played it. Um, but Sword and Shield, there for a minute, I hated Sword and Shield. I eventually grew to love it for different reasons, but I'll get into that in a minute. Scarlet and Violet, I thought were absolutely fantastic. I thought Scarlet and Violet were great. I don't like the fact that some of the things in Scarlet and Violet seem kind of bugged. Yeah, bugged is a word. But I liked them, but I still thought, I especially still think, I think Pokemon Sword and Shield are the laziest out of the entire franchise. And like I said, I hated Sword and Shield. I like it now, but I still think Sword and Shield was lazy. And I know that's going to take some explaining. Not really. I guess in the community's standpoint, Sword and Shield isn't great. I guess Sword and Shield is still not considered the greatest. But personally, when I first played Sword and Shield, I hated the linearity of it. I hated the fact that the the design for Pokemon had not improved. We literally had Legends Arceus come out before Sword and Shield, and Legends Arceus was fantastic. The open world, the feel, the catching of Pokemon, like the whole thing, fantastic. Um, no, Sword and Shield came out first, I think. I don't remember. But anyway, we had Legends Arceus, which, in a lot of people's opinions, is peak Pokemon. Legends Arceus had so much writing for it, and it's really good. I won't deny that I liked Legends Arceus. I never finished it. I ended up selling my copy because I needed money. But the game was good. I liked it. I didn't necessarily feel like the game was bogged down by anything. If anything, it was the story that kind of made me scratch my head and tilt a little bit. But the dex completion was fun. Exploration was great. It feels good. And which is what I want out of a Pokemon game. Sword and Shield was boring. Just boring. The first three dungeons, in my opinion, or the first three gyms suck. I'm sorry, they do. Wooloo herding is not great. The puzzle, if you can even call it that, for Nissa's gym is stupidly simple. Like, obviously it's for kids, so it's gotta be. But I don't know, there was just a lot with Nissa's gym I was not a fan of. And then Kabu's gym, I will be honest, Kabu's gym was probably the better of the three. Just because the concept was interesting. Being in a catching competition with other gym trainers, instead of battling, you were catching, and that was really cool. Plus, you could get some pretty powerful fire Pokemon out of it, like getting a Litwick to turn into a Chandelure. Fantastic. Love that concept. But my issue with it is that it's... How do I put it? My issue with it is that the gym challenges and the final battle with the gym leader aren't necessarily good. part of that too is because of the Pokemon selection. Personally, I think Gen 8's Pokemon selection is awful. I do not like the selection of Pokemon that you can get from Sword and Shield. I'll say it. I don't like the new Pokemon they introduced in it, and I'll be honest, the first time I actually beat it, I beat it with Pokemon that I liked from older generations. I didn't beat it with Pokemon from that generation until a later date. And then I discovered the way that I've discovered that I like Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield, in my opinion, are the challenge run Pokemon games. If you have a challenge run idea that you want to try and do, you do it in Sword and Shield first. You get me? There's not a lot of story that gets in between you and the badges. What story is in between, you kind of deal with it the moment it kind of pops up. And the Elite Four, quote unquote, the match with Leon getting interrupted, leading into the fight with Eternatus and everything. By the way, this is spoilers, but leading into the fight with Eternatus and Rose, like, it gives you a little bit of stakes. It gives you something to be like, okay, cool. So I literally can go bam, 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 hit each point, and then at the end of the game is when everything pops up. And personally, I like that better for, like, doing challenge runs. How many people have you heard have been like, I tried Nuzlocking Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, and I just hated having to do the Magma and Aqua sections. Or, here's a really good example. Alpharad did his draft races with his friends, and they modded Ruby and Sapphire to take the story beats completely out. Because in a lot of ways, if you're not playing for the story and you're playing to do challenges, the story beats kind of get in the way. Especially in especially in, like, Generation 2 games. Silver and Gold are particularly bad. I have not heard anybody say the story interruptions in Gold and Silver are good. In which case, they are not. Gold and Silver, as much as they are my favorite Pokemon games, they are my favorite Pokemon generation, they are my favorite. Soul Silver is my favorite Pokemon game of all time. As much as I love those, the biggest problem I have with them, the biggest issue I have with them, is the fact that when it comes to the story beats, you're trucking along, you're hitting different points, and unless you're not paying attention, in which case a lot of people who've played those games are not, you forget that you have to go to the radio tower, you have to deal with Team Rocket, you have to do the Slowpoke well, you have, like, all these interruptions. Hey, Kain, you're going to the Pokemon League? Forget it. You don't probably don't have any badges. The guard won't let you through. By the way, did your Pokemon get any stronger? Let's find out. But like I was saying, the Pokemon environment for story it's good. Don't get me wrong. It is good. I love the storylines in Pokemon games. I love the idea of, being this character who's doing their absolute damnedest to try and, just become a master of the game. Just become a Pokemon master. That's their whole goal, is to become a Pokemon master. And, this sand attack is gonna suck. I probably should have saved, but oh well. Ow. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's one of those things where you actually kind of have to think about it, because in terms of like storytelling, right? The Pokemon games are not the end all be all of story, in my opinion. The Pokemon storylines suck. Almost all of them suck. Um, Honestly, if I had to pick in terms of tier list, I would say the best storylines in order would be Ruby and Sapphire, primarily Emerald, so Generation 3, and then Generation 5 with Black and White, and Black 2 and White 2. No matter who you are, people agree that those are the best games. Like, people flat out say Black 2 and White 2 are considered the best. We're going to keep trying this until either it lands or it doesn't. Oh, my accuracy might be too low. I hate Sand Attack. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Come on. Come on, land at least one. Damn. Okay. Well. Yeah, I don't think I can hit this Bulbasaur or this Charmander. So, oh, we hit, but we didn't do nearly enough damage. But yeah, it's personally, I think Black and White had the better story. But I also know that Emerald had one of the better stories as well, because I know for fact people love Emerald. Yeah, we lose this one. So, now I don't know if I can get the achievement if I lose the fight or not. So we are going to find out. But I don't think it works that way. Okay, we black out. Let's go talk to Oak. But yeah, no, it's Black 2 and White 2 had the better story. And that's my opinion. But Emerald also had a really good story. Personally, like I said, I think Emerald is better. And then it goes Black 2, White 2, with Black and White obviously going above or in between. But outside of that, let's think here. Okay, let's try and see if maybe we can take him on again, and we're going to try and get it to where we can get through that thing before. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting for sure. Because the storylines are good, bad, or indifferent. Pokemon has a story. Hell, even Gen 1 has a story. But the difference between, like, say, Gen 1 and Gen 6, is that the story doesn't really derail what happens in Gen 1. Whereas with Gen 6, you have the shit with Team Flare, and you have Lysander, and you have everything that you have to deal with there. That literally kind of puts the team in this pickle where you have to deal with it. You have to deal with Lysander, you have to fight him. We're going to find out if I have to reset or not. Because I don't remember if the fight with Blue resets or not in this early... I know in Fire Red and Leaf Green, you don't have to win that fight for Blue to disappear. So I'm hoping Blue is still there, so we can get this fucking achievement. But, as I was saying, one of the better aspects of Pokemon is that it is storytelling. Its storytelling isn't all that bad. Okay, Blue is still here. So I can ram my forehead into this guy until I get him. Okay, the cap is 14. So I'm hoping I can just deal with this before we get to that. Okay, start off with a Leech Seed. And then we're just tackling this motherfucker to death. I don't like Generation 6, personally. Gen 6 is not one of my favorites. Primarily because I don't like Lysander as a villain. Depending on which version of X and Y you play, decides what version of Lysander you end up fighting. And I don't like... Oh, dear. I might not be able to do this without potions. And you don't sell them. Shit. That's not good. Okay, well... This fell apart super fast. Just so I've got it set up, we'll have to do the stream another day. I guess I'm just not feeling Pokemon. So what we'll do is we're gonna change the stream, and I think we're going to probably just pick this up another day because I'm just not feeling it today. So